I want to talk about Ukraine attacking Iran, specifically when they attacked a Russian warship and a Iranian transport ship in the Caspian Sea. Now, many people in the media jumped to World War III fears, maybe because it sells clicks and views. I have no idea, because that's not what occurred. That's not even close to what has happened here. The closest thing to escalation here is basically rhetoric. Ukraine was targeting an Iranian vessel that was delivering military supplies that could negatively affect Ukraine, and they were delivering them to Russia. Which I find interesting, that Iran feels like that they could even lend that equipment to Russia given their current state of affairs. That said, they aren't really employing their ground troops in any meaningful sense, so maybe they had some things to spare. Or maybe Russia is providing some assistance to Iran, and there was a quid pro quo there that needed to be answered. Either way, Ukraine reached out and touched Iran and said, no, you cannot help Russia. Now, again, the reason why this doesn't leap to any type of World War III fears is, well, one, Iran doesn't have any nuclear capabilities, but two, they don't have any real capabilities to reach out and touch Ukraine. Sure, they have some ballistic missiles, but they actually have to get to their target, and they only have a few. So they don't have any sustained capability to conduct any type of long-term warfare with Ukraine. So just them simply rattling sabers and saying an eye for an eye, or that even if they were to declare war, what does that even mean? It's not like they're going to move troops across the Caspian Sea and conduct an invasion force of Ukraine or anything like that. They couldn't afford to if they wanted to, but they can't do that. They have no capability to do that. So what I've been saying over many TikToks now is that this is still a Cold War between China and the United States, with their proxies in between. Russia is a proxy of China. Ukraine is arguably a proxy of NATO, definitely a proxy of the European Union, and they get their supplies and equipment largely through the United States. So you're always going to have a direct connection or a secondary connection between proxies and the main superpowers. And China's not a superpower, but the main powers at play here. And now the only reason Iran is an important player here is because they have been gifted with the geography that favors their position. If they didn't have that mountainous terrain or a strategic waterway that they could affect, then this honestly probably wouldn't even be happening. But even if they had the military capabilities that we've since degraded, it wouldn't have mattered to anyone. That said, we've degraded their military capabilities so significantly that when we do go to conflict with them, we strike what we want. They can only strike what they can. So right now we're in a 3-day lull period where there have been no strikes on either side, and this has allowed for a quick ushering in of peace talks that I believe Oman is taking the lead on. And on top of that, this has brought down the price of a barrel of oil by 5 or 10%. It would have probably been dropping even lower if not for the Houthis attacking Saudi Arabia's ships. I believe they attacked 3 of them in the last 4 days or so. They also attacked the logistics ports that offload the fuel, the oil, onto ships. Fortunately, though, the damage was minimal, as these facilities are massive, and you're going to have to launch a lot of drones and ballistic missiles to have any permanent effect. And most of these drones and missiles have been intercepted. On top of that, Saudi Arabia has turned around and attacked the Yemen rebels, and so that currently is an ongoing situation. And it looks like maybe the rebels have increased or improved their targeting capabilities, because the trafficability of the Bab el-Mandeb Strait is still ongoing. It's only Saudi Arabia ships that are having issues at the moment, and so all other ships' traffic is still flowing through the strait. And so it looks like this week will be a tenuously calm week, as President Trump is touting, again, positive talks between the U.S. and Tehran, all on the heels of Netanyahu visiting the White House, I believe, tomorrow. So it'll be interesting to see what unfolds by the end of this week.